Hello Dave is brought to you ad-free by my supporters on Patreon. Become a Patreon yourself and get your name listed as a supporter at the end of every video by following the link in the video description.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Hello Dave with Down to Earth Astronomy. It is once again Monday, and that means we're going to have a look at what's been going on the last week and what's going to happen in the coming week. And I have a lot of stuff to cover this week. I have something around 8 talking points that I need to get through, so let's dive right into it. First of all, last week, of course, the 3.3 beta went live. I live streamed it myself on Tuesday on the patch day itself. There was a ton of disconnects and there was a lot of stability issues during that live stream. If you tuned in, I ended up playing Minesweeper during the live stream while we waited for the servers to actually come up and work again. After that, though, it seems to just be launch day issues. After that, it did become a lot more stable. Exactly what causes all the disconnects, I'm not 100% sure of. But at least I can confirm now that I had a bonus live stream on Friday, and I played for 5 hours straight on the beta with no disconnects or anything. So it's a lot more stable now. Whether this is an issue that will return in the next iteration of the patch, I don't know. I hope not. But at least for now, I can say it's got a lot more stable than it was before. But there's a lot more about the beta, of course, because last Thursday, Frontier had their third of their 4 live streams talking about the new changes coming, and this time they talked about the new mining updates and the new Squadrons. I'm not going to dive into too much detail with it. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. Squadrons is a little underwhelming, I think. I don't think there's enough. It's nice that it ties into BGS, but I don't think there's enough gameplay for non-BGS players to make it a real, it's nice that you can group people together, but that's about it. But I really hope that Frontier is doing more with Squadrons later on, maybe do some larger Squadron missions that you could run over a month or something like that. Mining changes, I'm very stoked for mining, and I'm going to be streaming a lot of mining in this week, and we'll have some quite fun events coming up as well, but more about that later on. But at least I think that looked pretty good. It was a good live stream. But now that we're talking about the whole Squadron thing, I am, of course, also going to create Squadrons, plural, more of them, for you guys that you're able to join if you want to be part of an in-game Squadron that's kind of part of the community. And I'm going to do it in a way where I'm creating 2 Squadrons, not just 1, 2. And the reason why I'm doing that is because there is a hard cap on member limit of 500. Now, I don't think that's going to be an issue right off the start, but over time, I could see that becoming an issue. So what I'm doing is there will be 2 squadrons when we start. There will be a squadron dedicated for the BGS people. That means that's the squadron we will tie down to our player faction, and that's the squadron that will for the people who are interested in that. And then there'll be a second squadron, which is going to be a more community-focused squadron. It's not really different than the other squadron. I mean, the BGS squadron is also going to be a community squadron, and that's where my main character will be. But the non-BGS squadron is just for people who have no interest in BGS. There's no reason why they should get that in-game information that might be posted using the motto of the day or stuff like that. So to try and separate it out, both to give us more room for lots of players if you guys want to join, but also to make sure that the people who are not interested in the BGS, they can just go over there and go to the other squadron. That, of course, being said, if you're in the non-BGS squadron, you're still more than welcome to go over from time to time, and I actually encourage you to go over from time to time and help the BGS squadron if you have some spare time. And of course, the other way around, if we're hosting events in the community squadron, people over in the BGS squadron is just as welcome to join all those events as people in the community squadron. So it's the BGS squadron is basically the same as the community squadron, only that it does BGS, so you'll get some BGS information as well. So that's the way that's been done. And if you head over to my Discord server, which there's a link for in the description, there's already a sign up channel over there where you can post your commander name and which squadron you would like to join. There's a pinned message at the top that explains everything. And I'm doing this because, again, I have no idea how many people are going to be interested in joining a squadron like this. I mean, you can only join 1 squadron, so I don't expect it to be everybody. But, I mean, channel is approaching 25,000, and Discord is approaching 2,500 people. And I was a little afraid that we might, maybe not right off the start, but I'm not sure if I just wanted to avoid a situation where there was not enough room for everybody. And even if we're going to run into trouble, I wanted to make sure that at least the people who are actively part of the community over on Discord will have a first pick, have a first seat in those squadrons. And if we're running out, we'll probably have to figure out a way to create more squadrons. But I'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I'll do that later. Now, so you can head over to Discord. You can sign up over there if you want to reserve yourself a spot. Of course, tomorrow Frontier is now doing the next iteration of the beta period here, and this time they're gonna enable us to go out and test the new mining, and the new squadrons are gonna be added into the game. And that means that on the live stream tomorrow we're gonna have one of those events that I just talked about. But I'm not gonna go out tomorrow and actually test mining per se. I'll do that later on. Tomorrow's live stream is gonna be fooling around. We're gonna get as many people as we can to get those, I keep forgetting the names. I have it down here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. The new warheads, seismic charge warheads. That's the one. We're gonna get as many people with as many seismic charge warheads as possible, and we're just gonna find a area, drop into it, and then try just to clear it. Just blow up every single asteroid in the area. Just have huge fragments. It's gonna be a lot of dust, I think. Just to see what would happen if you would actually blow up just everything, let's say within 5 kilometers of a certain target. And I think that could be pretty fun. We're going to try to do that together, play around with it, and let's see, with that many asteroids blowing up, we might do some like chain reactions where we have different people like chaining up asteroids, so we can go 1, 2, 3, and just have asteroids blow up left and right like a small fireworks display. I think it could be fun, and I think it's going to be very entertaining to watch. And again, you're more than welcome to join. All you got to do is just, again, follow link for Discord. This is where we are organizing everything, and you'll also be able to join in on voice during the live stream. And again, as I said before, you don't have to actually be able to speak during the live stream. If you're not comfortable speaking, of course, you don't have to. But I really, really do prefer if people are at least able to listen in, because there is a stream delay. So if we're relaying orders and doing countdowns, it's a lot easier to do that if we're doing on a Discord, so we don't have that like 13-15 second delay which there is on the stream. So I hope also a lot of you guys for that event, which will be tomorrow, doing my usual time slot, which is due to daylight saving changes now 8 o'clock in game time. So yeah, see you on tomorrow for that live stream. Now, that is not the only things that I've been doing this week. It's actually been a pretty busy week. You might have noticed that on Saturday, I launched my video on like a brief overview of the new FSS system, the new exploration scanning system. I'm planning to do something similar with mining and maybe also with squadrons. And I had actually planned that video to come out earlier. I mean, coming out on Saturday, which is almost a week, or half a week after the content was actually launched in the beta. It was a little late, but that's because my week has been pretty busy. Now, this week also, I went to a expo here in Denmark called the Pro AV Expo. It's an expo for professional broadcasters. That means TV, radio, that kind of thing. And I thought it could be fun to go out and see what kind of tech and equipment is actually available for the professional grade. I mean, I'm nowhere near that level, of course, but I mean, it's always nice to see what they have, talk to some of the professionals who know what they're actually doing, and not just some bloke sitting in a room at home in his apartment somewhere in Copenhagen, and doing some recording and pretty much just try to figure it out based on what I can find online. It was really good, and I just took the camera and strapped it on my back, and there was some pretty cool stuff out there. There was this place where they like did some micro testing of lenses to see if they how clean they were, and there was this really amazing like dome kind of screen. I think it was actually Panasonic who made that, where it was from what they did. They had it hanging on the down from the ceiling, but I could see that you could use that just flipping it down, and you basically had a 180 degree screen that was just powered by a projector fitted off to the side, so you could have that either above you or below you. If you didn't tilt that down, I could see that be pretty amazing to play something like Elite Dangerous on. And it was amazing how clear the colors were. That was actually pretty cool. And there was some pretty cool stuff, and I did talk to some people, and especially I tried to talk to people about the whole sound setup, because you might have noticed, and it probably still is, the room I'm in, it's fairly small. If you saw, I did doing my 20,000 thing, I did a video that I quickly showed my small office here. The room itself is pretty small, and there's plenty of furniture in here to kind of stop reverb, but the problem is that the ceiling is very, very tall. I think it's almost 4 meters to the ceiling here. And that means I get a lot of reverb. I get a lot of echo. And I try to talk to people about what I should do, what kind of microphones. And of course, the best thing you can do is to just sound treat your room, which is something I am working on. I'm planning to just put up a thick blanket in the ceiling to try and mitigate some of that reverb that I am getting. But I have also beginning to slowly upgrade my sound setup. I mean, so far I've pretty much used the same sounds or same microphones since I started, and it's been a very good microphone. It's a blue. Let's see if I actually have it over here. Hold on. Oh, here it is. This is the one I've been using so far. This is a blue Snowball. It is mounted in a small shock frame, so it takes the worst like bumps. But now I've switched over, and right now I'm using it's a Rode shotgun mic, which is really not ideal because shotgun mics don't really handle reverb very well. But it's a more directional microphone, and that means now I'm running this over a external mixer board, and that has allowed me to do a lot of stuff that I weren't able to do before. For instance, now I can begin to both control the high end and the low end, like boost the bass in my voice if I want to, or boost the high end of my voice. I can manually control the levels of my microphone just by having small knobs right here in front of me. Now, a lot of this stuff, of course, I could still do before. I would often do that in post, where I would do some noise reduction. I will do a little bit of editing of my sound recordings before I began actually doing the video editing, just to make it sound a little bit better. Now, of course, I'll still do that, but of course, I couldn't do that doing live streams. But with this setup, I have a lot more control over the sound, and hopefully, you can also hear a difference between the sound setup I had before and the sound setup I had now. It might not be noticeable if you haven't watched the video in a while. So what I've done is I just did a quick comparison where I recorded the same lines, basically my intro, first with the old blue microphone, and now with my current setup. And you can listen to it here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with Down to Earth Astronomy. So hopefully you were able to hear a noticeable difference between the two. I think the new setup, which was the last one, it's a lot more bass because I boosted the bass a little bit. I think generally the voice is a lot clearer and doesn't sound as flat as it did before. Now I am still looking into getting a non-shotgun microphone. Probably going to try to get now it's going to get very technical here, but I'm probably going to try to get myself something like it's called a dynamic microphone. I will need to have the microphone pretty close, but I think it's okay because I don't know how many of you have actually noticed that the microphone is actually in frame right now. It's sitting right here. Probably shouldn't touch it. So if I move away here, you could probably see the microphone now. Yeah, there it is, right there in front of me. So I'm able to keep it a lot closer, which also helps with a little bit of the reverb. But anyway, I think that's enough about sound setups for now. At least it's something I'm working on now, trying to up the sound to make everything sound a little bit better. And all of this is, of course, I need to say a big thank you to all you guys supporting me on Patreon. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I do with the money from Patreon. Try to get better microphones, better sound, better lighting, cameras, all that stuff. And everything that goes into like improving the quality of the videos and the live streams. That's what Patreon money are used for exclusively, nothing else. So I need to say a big thank you to all you guys who support me on Patreon. It's really because of you guys that I can keep this whole thing running, and I can keep upgrading, keep making better and better sounding and looking videos. So again, huge thank you to you guys. You all know who you are. Otherwise, of course, you will also know who some of them are, the guys who are listed at the end of all my videos, which you can be if you support with over 10 US a month. Okay, this is getting a really, really long Hello Dave, but I need to do one last thing. I need to do a quick shout out to a guy who helped me out almost 3 years ago now. It was way, way back in the early days of the channel. I think I hadn't even surpassed 100 subscribers at the time. But back then I did a collab with a guy called Nova Kane. Back then he did Elite Dangerous videos, and we did a small collab thing where we talked about each other's channels, and back then it helped my channel out a lot. And it was really nice, even though my channel was a lot smaller than his, and he still reached out and wanted to help. So now I am returning the favor, because Nova Kane has just started his channel up again, and he's doing some. If you don't know him, if you haven't seen some of his videos, he's doing more storytelling. And he recently launched his Elite Dangerous University kind of series, where he's in a more role-playing kind of way doing tutorials. It's quite a fun combination that I really haven't seen before. I will link to one of his videos in the description, so I really hope that you will help me return the favor and go over and check out his videos. I can also really recommend his series, The Great Escape, which you can go look up on his channel as well. That's really good. He has some really good narrated stuff over there. So head over and post in the comment and say hello from D2EA over there, so that he knows that I sent you guys over there. So that's gonna be it for today's Hello Dave. Got quite long, as I said, a lot of stuff to talk about, but I really hope that you did enjoy today's video, and I hope we'll see you guys on live stream tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.